Hi, guys. This is Michelle.
And this is Mark.
And this is Mark and Michelle.
That's right.
Did you miss us last night?
Yes, you probably did. We missed us. But if that can be a thing. But
Tonight,
we're going to talk about
health and what it really is.
That's right. Because Ashley!
It's
Tosh!
so long.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Tosh.
48 hours or whatever, But we're talking about health and what it really is, guys. Oh, and Ashley. It is Ashley. And we had an interesting, I won't say it was an intentional conversation, but
An accidental?
it was an accidental conversation or kind of unaware on the part of one person. But anyway, and they said, oh, well, maybe doing a diet is not about losing weight.
Hi, Helen.
Hey, Helen. And
well, what was said was, well, they're far from thin.
yes,
It must not be about weight loss.
it was kind of an underhanded insult.
Krista.
Same like Krista. And so we had to laugh.
Tell me why a child would be hot all the time.
We'll get to
Adrenaline.
that. Yes, I would agree with that. Because when you eat meat or fat, adrenaline comes out to break down the fat.
But I don't think he's having that right now.
No.
Anyway, we're going to continue with our thing. Ashley asked me on Messenger.
Yes. And but the conversation devolved into what seemed to be an underhanded insult, and which is whatever. But it made a good point in that some people only seem to think that good health is weight loss.
Well, and some people think good health is working out at the gym.
Uh-huh. And getting buff. No, it isn't.
Or walking. Or running.
Right.
There's
Or
nothing wrong with those things.
no.
But that's not ultimate health. Is
No,
this where we're going with this?
This is where we're going with this.
All right.
And so then what is ultimate health? Ultimate health is balance. It's balanced eating, exercise. Well, we said eating. Weight. It's everything in your body working the way it was intended to work.
Synergistic. That word just wanted to come out of my mouth.
All right. So we'll go with that. All right. But since it's out there now. But it's everything working together in a balanced way. And you know what? Good health isn't just good physical health either.
It's emotional.
And spiritual.
Yeah.
Right? And mental.
Yep.
All of those things. Because good emotional health is not feeling undeserving of, or not feeling paranoid about life.
Or feeling worthy.
Right. It is feeling worthy.
Feeling like you deserve whatever good things.
Right. There really are 4, maybe 5 areas to good health. It isn't just good physical health. There's physical, mental, good mental health, good emotional health, good spiritual health. And and we've talked about all of these subjects in the past in different lives, but kind of putting them together in this one live, I think, is important, because the person that we weren't really talking to more than we were just kind of saying things at each other until we figured out what was going on. And what it was a lesson for us. That whole conversation turned into, hey, you know what? Maybe we need to talk about what health really is. And so let's start with physical real quick.
Okay. Well,
because that's the most obvious thing to go is, are we physically healthy?
I thought I was okay. I mean, I knew I didn't feel good. I knew I had things. But overall, I thought, yeah, I'm probably okay because I can function. That's not health. What I've learned is I was so sick.
See, that's just survival. And you've heard us talk a lot about survival mode.
I don't think I know anyone who is healthy. I think everyone has metals, viruses, strep. Mark, do you know anyone who's healthy?
No. I know people who think they're healthy. You know, and people who arrogantly think that they're the epitome of health. Now, I don't think they necessarily mean that in an arrogant way, really, but it comes across as that. And
I'm still surprised at how sick I actually was.
Mm-hmm. Well, in fact, I think we were talking about this today and yesterday. You know, we'll both look at each other periodically and say, "Man, you know, I can't believe I was that unaware." You know, as an autistic person, or she'll say, "You know, I can't believe that I functioned through that."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
in fact, wasn't it recently, a couple nights ago, we were talking about how it was so difficult for you to get to, I don't know what that subject was of our live. It was 2 or 3 nights ago, but you were talking about how you could just barely make it through rehearsals.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and
Well,
I couldn't make it through college classes because I couldn't think well enough to
in
get the information.
2015, when I got real sick on the gaps, I was trying to play trombone and I started getting really lightheaded, and I had to quit because I felt like I was going to pass out every time I blew into my horn.
Mm-hmm.
And but you still are kind of functioning. You're like, I don't know. I guess you have to go to a place that might not be realistic to continue to live your life.
Well, in other words, it's kind of an anesthesia.
Yes.
It's an anesthesia of unawareness.
Yes.
And
brought about by viruses.
yes, it's like working at the same place for so long. You work at a place for so long, you forget how boring the drive is to work after, say, 9 years times 365 days. I mean, that's like 2,400 days, 2,700 days, maybe 3,000 days. You get your mind just goes blank on the drive from home to work and work to home. I mean, if you were to stop and think, oh, this is the 9,000, you know, this is the 8,000th time I've done this, your mind would blow up. You know, but ill health, poor health, causes an anesthesia of unawareness. And
which could be called an autism.
Yeah.
Of sorts.
I could say that.
An emotional autism?
Yeah. You know, you're unaware of how sick and numb you really are. And that's the thing. What's funny is you almost have to start healing to know how sick you really were, as she said just a second ago. And then you're like, oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah, but it takes a while of healing. It takes a good bit of healing for you to go, dang, and realize, man, I was that sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've done that so often in recovery, and I know she has too, you know. And Freud, I think he was the one who said this. He said the goal of therapy, and I'm going to substitute the word healing here. Therapy really is therapeutics. What are therapeutics? They're there to help you heal. But he said, and I think he said this, the goal of healing is to love and to work. And just surviving, just barely making it through, you know, to love, what is it? What is it to love? It's to love your life. It's to love your wife. I wasn't intentionally being a poet there, but to love your loved ones, your kids, whatever it is, to yourself, you know. And that's where the emotional and the mental and the spiritual healing come in, to learn how to love you, you know. And I think you embark on a journey of self-love when you start healing, because we have talked about that.
Yes.
And that is the beginning of self-love, is learning to heal yourself. and doing that. And so there is physical health is great, but it's just the start. And we've talked about how for us, though, the start was internal.
Spiritual.
Was internal and emotional. And it's interesting. Mental health I would put down at the bottom of the list. I do maybe spiritual first, physical, emotional, and then mental. Why? Because after you take care of the first three, that last one, mental, takes care of itself for the most part. It's just mental just seems to be poor mental health just seems to be a side effect of poor emotional and spiritual health.
For me, I would do physical because I can't reach spiritual.
As the first.
I can't reach my spiritual as well if I feel so bad that I don't think you had the experience of feeling that bad.
Well, and in that case, you're probably right.
I felt really bad.
You mean emotionally? You felt really bad.
Physically, I felt so bad that I couldn't hear my spiritual.
Well,
there's
really,
something that's cut off.
See, and that's interesting because for you, it's the emotional and the physical that were the worst. For me, it was the mental.
Mm-hmm.
That
so
was the
it's
only.
Probably going to be a different answer for everyone.
Well, and I think you're probably right. For me, being the mental, that was the one thing that woke me up to, man, there must be something else wrong with me. Mm-hmm. And for you, it was the emotional and the physical. The emotional, I think, that brought up the physical side of it.
I don't know. The physical was pretty powerful. I mean, I was practically a teenager when I started feeling sick.
Well, true.
So,
and that's the thing. All of those are connected. If you start healing one,
it affects the others.
It does affect the others. If you start healing one, you sooner or later get pushed into starting to heal the others. Mm-hmm. Because that happened to me and that happened to her. And I've seen that happen to others too. That is if you're going to stay committed. I mean, there are people I think who drop out of the journey at some point and they're just like, oh, that's enough for me. Okay, that's not my business. But for us, and like I have a friend at work, she's in her 20s, but she's on the same journey, just like us. Our friend Ashley says, self-care is important. I'm finally starting to take care of myself. Detox baths, getting my hair done, naps, time alone. Absolutely. And
that's probably because you started feeling better enough to do that. So for you, it was starting with the physical.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And really, you start where you're feeling the most pain.
Yeah.
I think that's a good assessment.
Mm-hmm.
Because your area of pain was different than mine.
Right.
Hers seems to be a little bit different than ours, and but one of those four areas you're going to feel more pain in, and that is going to poke you into onto your journey. And there's nothing wrong with that. Pain isn't meant to be accepted and put up with. Louise Hay, one of our authors, said, when you feel pain, it's your body's way of trying to tell you something. And it is. I mean, I was reading a book in there on intuition by an author named Shakti Gawain. And she said that your body has an uncanny way of communicating with you when you don't pay attention to it. It causes injuries, poor health, illness, and she went on a couple other things. But it makes sense. If you're not listening, if you're not paying attention, your body's going to let you know. And some of you may be sensitive enough that you don't need your body to let you know. I think for her, it wasn't her body so much that was letting you know as it was your emotional side. Well, no, you just said that it was physical for you.
Yeah, it was physical.
Yeah, but I think some people are so emotionally or spiritually sensitive that lets them know, maybe even before their physical does, And
well, there's always walls. You run into walls.
In healing, you mean?
Or in life, you just hit a wall and you're like, what is going on? what do I need to do here?
Yeah, because you can't function. That you hit that wall and then you can't do anything. I mean, I definitely say that was true for me.
And most of the time, it's me. It's an issue with me that I need to change myself.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it appears that it's someone doing something to me, it is often actually my reaction or my trigger,
Your wall.
my resonance.
Yeah.
Causing me.
Your vibration.
My vibration.
Yeah, there's numerous words for it, but they all mean the same.
I think I said all of them.
Right? She's a walking thesaurus. And but it's true because you can blame others, but you're not accepting the lesson.
If you see others as a mirror of yourself, then you change your life.
Yes. And is that easy to do?
No.
No, I should say,
It's not.
Is that comfortable to do?
It's extremely uncomfortable.
No. Because
to admit that you're the it's easier to be a victim. That's just easy.
It is. It's easier to blame others, or it's easier to say, well, I did this, and if that person did it, then he must not have actually done it. God, I've heard that so many times. If you haven't done it, there is a reason. If you haven't been successful, there is a reason. And it isn't because of somebody else. It's because of you. And it's not because you're flawed necessarily.
No.
It's because you have a lesson to learn.
It could be some trauma from your past that keeps getting revibrated.
It could be some pattern
it might not
that you got taught as you grew up.
It might not be your authentic self.
Right.
It can be so many things.
It can, but you have to be open enough. Now, here's the thing. I've learned that a little bit of blame helps you put some distance between you and the issue, so you can step back and look at it and go, okay.
Yeah, you have to start somewhere.
You do. So it's my parents' fault. Okay, yeah. Great. But if you never step back and go, okay, how can I fix this? If you never ask that question, then you won't grow. You won't heal because you're not actually interested in healing. You're just interested in keeping distance between you and whatever it is you need to heal.
And this goes for physical too.
Oh, it does. High cholesterol ran in my family. My mom's father, he died at 47. My mom's older brother, 5 years older than she is, he died at, I think it was 52. I'll be 51 next month. My mom and Michelle both were very worried.
Well, your mom had a heart attack at 50.
Did she? Yeah, I remember that. Okay. Of course, I was still autistic at that
and then
point.
Your grandma
well,
multiple.
She did, and my grandfather. So.
And your aunt Gertrude.
Yeah, that was my mom's dad's sister. Yeah, so that was her aunt.
There's lots of heart.
So there was lots of heart stuff. So in my life, so I had to take statins for it. I had to go to the doctor. I had to keep an eye on my cholesterol. But a side effect, a very beneficial side effect of the GAPS diet was it cleared up my cholesterol.
I kind of wonder though, when you started plateauing, if your liver got backed up and that
would have,
and it made your cholesterol go high again.
It might have. And so since I had a family history of cholesterol, that was something that I had to clear up for me, because that was something that we had in the family.
Because we used to think it was genetic.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know it's not.
It's poor health. It is. I cleared up my gut, and after being on GAPS for too long, though, I saw some regression, some backwards, a little more ill health coming out because my liver got backed up. So, health isn't just weight loss. It isn't just clearing up behaviors in autistic people or anybody for that matter, because everybody can have bad behaviors because of poor health.
Metals.
Yeah, and
Viruses.
so, yeah, exactly. And so it is the emotional things that keep you stuck in patterns of poor health. It is the mental patterns that keep you stuck in poor health. All of those things. Spiritual patterns. Oh, I don't feel worthy enough to heal myself. BS. We're all worthy.
You
of good
are
health.
worthy.
Absolutely. Everyone. And you may not feel it, but that's where
you have to be willing to feel worthy.
Yeah.
And that will open the tiniest door that will allow some light in.
Mm-hmm. And so never think that poor health is only physical, because it isn't. It's only one facet of ill health, because your mental state, your emotional state, and your spiritual state, all of those are all connected. And if one of them is faulty, I guarantee the rest of them are too, unless you've worked on all of them.
And to speak to the weight issue with the medical medium, you start healing your body, you're going to start losing weight. And
Yep.
That's what's happening to me. It's, exactly the same as I have the whole time, except I'm eating a lot less fat than when we first started.
Mm-hmm.
And my liver is getting happy, and I've started losing weight.
There you go. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I will. I have patterns in my past over fat. So I have to work through those before I can get to the point. She actually did no fat for a month, and that's what started her losing weight. And so, don't let the idea that because you've been this way your whole life, you can't change.
Right.
Because I was autistic for 43, 44 years, and something came along and gave me the chance to change, and I did. She's done the exact same thing with Lyme disease. Well, EBV, according to medical medium, but still, it doesn't matter. It was still a serious illness, and she's still healing, and she's healed and is still healing. So remember, it's always out. You always have the chance to heal. It's always there, but it isn't just physical. Just because you're losing weight doesn't necessarily mean you're healthy. Just because you're a bodybuilder doesn't necessarily mean you're healthy. Just because you run and jog and do everything else doesn't necessarily mean you're healthy.
Just because you're vegan doesn't mean you're healthy.
That's right. You have to pay attention to your fat intake, your liver, the state of your liver. Those are all important. So, all right, guys. Anything else you want to do?
We're going to stop preaching now.
All right. We're going to get off the podium. And, guys, we'll see you tomorrow night. But keep doing that celery juice. Keep doing the heavy metal detox smoothie. Keep doing that lemon water. Go to www.healyourautism.com/buy the book for our latest book, Heal Your Autism's Do-It-Yourself Guide. Healing begins in your kitchen. And we will see you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.
Bye.